She looks like your grandpa.
Hip hop? Me?
Dude,
really?
It's okay, we're just gonna...
Dude, hey, just relax, okay? It's time to go pro. Hey. Oh! Intergalactic.
Wow!
My name's Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
Thanks for having us and me. I always have to skedaddle from a class I teach, so I wish I could stay and watch everybody. Trust that I'm not just waiting for my time to come up. I'm literally like, I text Julie, I'm like, I'm parking, running now, and I run, and then I take, luckily, a couple sets to catch my breath. This is actually more of my benefit than yours. Doing stand-up is per request of my therapist. No, seriously, it's my homework. Along with tracking habits and planning things and whatnot, we've made the agreement that I do stand-up at least once a month. I kind of lied to her the other day and said I didn't do it yet because I got canceled, and then I forgot it was this Thursday, so I will report to her on Tuesday and say I did it. If you haven't tried therapy, all the cool hip kids are doing it. If you've ever wanted to cry uncontrollably for like an hour and then immediately need to nap, recommend it. But it is truly, I mean, if you want to try it and it works for you, it works for me. I was in the habit that I didn't like the idea of going to a therapist, but it's been really helpful. And also, she tells me I have a beautiful brain. And when I told her I love stand-up, she's like, you remind me of Eliza Schulsinger. And I was like, I'm coming back, Beverly. Thank you for these compliments. But it really has helped me. I feel a lot more like me, especially I'm like in my element. My hair is freshly dyed black. I'm in an outfit, again, all black. It can be, hell yeah, man. It can be a outfit, all gray, whatever color you'd like. But I also am, if I'm not wearing just all black, I like to be a NASCAR and represent in some way. So I'm representing San Jose. I have two important questions. Question number one, who is born and raised in California? Great. Oh good, did everyone raise their hand? Good job. Like it was up to you, yeah? Even a more important question, who's born and raised in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
Mostly everyone. Everyone matters, but the people who just raised their hand matter a little bit more.
A little bit more.
I was at a wedding in November in Napa. Again, just wow, one other highlight of this Golden State. And my friends got married. They're in the wine industry, but they're from Kentucky. So their whole family was mostly from Kentucky, some Ohio, some Illinois. And I didn't mean to, but I kept realizing that I made it very clear to all the other guests that I was an elite Californian. Even like during the dancing after the reception, we like played Tell Me When to Go, and we're like, oh, this is the elite Bay Area. Californians here! Like, very impressive. I do love being from here. So just know that you're better than most people. I am a homebody. I do love the Bay Area. If I were from somewhere else, maybe I would have moved. I was in Irvine for 2 years. I was transferred to UC Irvine. Woo! Anteaters. It's not indigenous to the area, the anteater. That's all right. But I was a transfer, and I am actually pretty shy, so it took me a little bit to make friends. But funny enough, everyone I made friends with, the majority of students were either from Orange County, Santa Ana, Newport Beach, places like that, or the majority of people were from the Bay Area, which was so bizarre because I kept making all these friends. And I was like, who do you know? What part of the Bay are you from? Have you been to insert beautiful Bay Area place here? And there was one girl who was like, I'm from the Bay. And I was like, no way, Catherine. What part? She's like, I'm from Sacramento. And I was like, that doesn't count.
Boo!
You see a body of water near Sacramento? No. I don't care if it's the capital of this state. You're not from the Bay. Therefore, she was inferior. No, we were friends. It was fine. Most of the time, I am right. Just throw I have an unhealthy obsession with butter. I don't really know how to segue that one. Just, we're gonna come clean. It's been a 25-year romance. I would be a little kid and sneak into the kitchen and like Captain Hook my finger and just go to town on a little butter stick. It hasn't really stopped. I'm trying to be more plant-based, but things like butter, I'm gonna get like emotional, like cream cheese. Sour cream is like so good. And I realized that like toast for butter and bagels for cream cheese and chili for sour cream, those are all just vehicles for my dairy of choice. Like they're just there to look like I'm actually eating a meal when the truth is I'm really trying to get to those beautiful dairy spreads. It's gonna sound like a sponsorship for a half a second. If you are more plant-based, Earth Balance is a great vegan butter.
Woo!
It's got that saltiness. Again, like I might get really emotional because I'm gonna go home and have toast right after this. But also, if you're a dairy person, Kerrygold is fantastic. It comes in a beautiful silver thing, and it's from Ireland, and it's just a little bit softer. There was some people talk about, their partner or their family in the same regard that I talk about butter. I went to the movies. I go to the movies, but this one particular instance, I went to the movies, and generally, you go to the movies, and when you're at the concessions, you order your popcorn, and generally, that person administers the butter into your popcorn. So I usually make it very clear that I want a lot of butter, and I want butter in the middle and on top. So, kind of like a parfait, but instead of like nice yogurt and organic fruit, I want corn, butter,
Yes. Salt.
We're looking for like a soggy bag.
Yes.
I was at a particular movie theater that they didn't administer the butter, and I panicked. I got a dry bag, and I was like, what do I do with this? And I realized, wow, I really want to go back to this movie theater for this reason, because near the condiments where the ketchup and mustard is, there was just this beautiful butter dispenser at my disposal. I walk up to it. I'm like, I'm ready. I've never gotten this opportunity to really get what I need, what I want. Let me take a step back. I was also alone at the movie theaters. I'd like to think if I was with someone else, I would have enough restraint to not have what's about to happen. I love going to the movies by myself. I get dinner by myself. Some people need one day out of the week where they're alone. I need one day out of the week where I'm near people, and other than that, I'm like, go away. Also, going to the movies alone is nice, because like you're there to like watch, feel it, and then like think thoughts, and then you can talk about it later. Back to this beautiful, just like to the butter. I go, I press that beautiful button, this golden streams come down. Wow, that could be interpreted differently. This butter is still. Now I didn't have the opportunity to parfait my popcorn, so somewhat like the game Plinko in The Price is Right, I shook the bag. Greatest game on that show, by the way. I shook the bag to really, nestle the butter deep into the being of the bag. Stepped away because I was nervous that perhaps a line had formed behind me. And I looked at it, somewhat satisfied, not truly satisfied. Then I pretended like I didn't know where my movie was. And so, if you visualize, I went to the left of the condiments, and then in the middle was the main concessions. Okay, and then on the right, there was another condiment table. I'm alone, but I pretend, just in case anyone was watching, that I walk around like, where's my movie? And then I stumble upon the other concessions table, and I'm like, well, I should just go get some butter. I go to the second one, and I take just as much time. I blink away, like, yay! Like, I can barely hold the bag, it's slipping out of my fingers. There's like a sloshing at the bottom. There's that much butter in it. Oh yeah, this is my life. And then I was fulfilled with just my butter-drenched popcorn. I know exactly where my movie was. Funny enough, I was actually considering which movie to see. I was killing time before actually seeing a show. And at first I was like, oh my god, I should see like the 50 Shades of whatever the fuck movie. And I was like, Taylor, you're alone and it's almost Valentine's Day, go see the movie about women and math and just go see Hidden Figures. And I did, and that seems like a much thorough choice with my beautiful popcorn. So if you've ever had an unhealthy obsession with food, I'm pretty healthy overall. And sometimes you just have to have those vices. But like I said, generally I'm right. I like to think that story makes me feel strong-willed and determined. And along with that, last time I performed, I had, what an epiphany of a product. Thank goodness we live in the Bay Area for the tech game. I love dogs. I love butter, I love dogs, not a huge fan of people. To the point where I talk to dogs and I don't really acknowledge the person. The other day, we were crossing paths with a dog who happened to be accompanied by a human being. And I went to the dog, I was like, oh my gosh, how are you? You're doing such a great job, you're so beautiful. And the person was like, oh my gosh, hi. And I went looking at the dog and didn't even talk to them. I was like, that wasn't for you. But I've had this revelation and I've built upon my beautiful idea of having like an app or something like an Apple Watch where instead of tracking steps, it tracks pets. So it would be called Pet, because you get to use both. You get to use pet as a verb and pet as a noun. You pet the pet, right? So you get to track how many pets you pet, and then you get to compete with other people to see who's a better person, right? Yes. But then in addition to that, I was like, we can't stop there. The dog has to have some form of a thing on his collar so they can also track how many pets they get. Because then you can get an alert and it's like, Buddy hasn't gotten enough pets yet. I'm like, I'm coming, Buddy! And I'm just like, get on down. Just like, what we need to do, add some butt pats. Dogs love butt pats, right?
Yes, they do.
So if there's anyone who's in the tech field, I'm sure this is just such a need of an idea. But I love dogs, and so with that in mind, please go off and pet a dog and eat some butter and some sour cream and some cream cheese, and please think of me when you do that. Or maybe don't think of me. I didn't mean it like that, but just, wow, I really like dairy.